Matt Gillian. I'm the co-founder and chief strategy officer of a company called Simple Geo. And we built Simple Geo because we had a need. We were originally starting out as a game company, and we were building games that would take place in the real world. And through building those games, we realized there was this whole component that we needed that was dealing with geolocation. And we didn't have it just readily available out there in the market, so we built it on our own. And by the time we were done building this, or at least the initial stages of it, we realized, wow, everybody needs this, and this doesn't exist out there, so why not change the company to deal with this and give this capability to everybody, which is how Simple Geo came about. So now we build tools and services for developers to add location into their apps. The biggest thing was that location is not a fad. It's not going anywhere because location is a big portion of where things are going to be going with mobile and so on and so forth. So it was about kind of identifying the big parts about what make location special and what can be given to marketers through the use of location. So it's examples of real-time location, using augmented reality as an option, or just using maybe virtual things that are actually in the real world, but you see them through your phone, for an example. As far as location is concerned, you need to be able to understand the core concepts, right? Which is, how the user interacts with location. It can either be interacting with specific businesses, where they are, points, things like that, specific areas, so identifying where a user is in what city, what neighborhood, things like that. Because these things are important to know that, A, you can know where these people are, you can know what areas they're in, and be able to identify, okay, I want to be able to run this promotion, for instance, but only to people in this neighborhood, So I want to sell hipster jeans to people in Williamsburg, who knows. But to be able to at least identify what the raw materials are, because a lot of times, with Twitter, it's a known quantity. I can sign up for Twitter and magically get followers and send out a tweet and it's done. But a lot of people don't know all the capabilities of location. It goes so far beyond check-ins, for example. But just being able to identify those things and let marketers understand that, hey, this capability is available. We're working with a development shop that's actually building stuff for Red Bull. So really cool promotion. I don't know if I can specifically call out the individual aspects of what they're doing with us, but we've been really excited about the possibilities because they're connecting people in real time in real places, and there's a lot of possibility there. And as far as apps are concerned, we've seen a lot of different use cases. We've seen a lot of different interesting things. One of my favorite ones that I've seen come out is a company called Hipmunk that helps connect users with better travel options, right? So if I wanted to find a flight, they're able to identify the best flight for me. But in our case, what they did was identify the hotels that you want to be staying at, and not just based on price and not just based on proximity to the landmark that I'm trying to get to, but by things like how concentrated food places are in the area that I live, or that I'm trying to get a hotel, for instance. So to be able to say, okay, I'm interested in food, I'm interested in nightlife, I'm interested in these things, and it can sort the hotels based on that. They use us to be able to identify where all those places are. Not the hotels, but all of the other places that are involved, the bars and the restaurants and so on and so forth. I think that location becomes an incredibly important component of all of this stuff. I mean, this is why we built the company, because we saw where location was headed and we saw that it will be ingrained in nearly everything that people do. But to be able to close that gap, that final mile where the customers are looking at an app and they may see a promotion, but to be able to identify where to send that person, or where to send multiple people and congregate them, just to be able to have that access. One, it will change the way that people interact with these brands, and it'll become a conversation. It'll be me stepping foot into a place that they told me to. But it'll also be a way for them to be able to identify what's doing well. So previously, you look at a billboard, and the only way that you're going to be able to identify how well you're doing is maybe foot traffic at a nearby store, possibly. But how does a global company like Pepsi be able to identify that? Well, they'll be able to start identifying that by closing that gap with their customer and connecting them through an app experience, as an example. And then being able to watch as they move to that final mile between that billboard and where they purchase the products. Well, Simple Geo started out back in 2009, and we raised a seed round in November 2009 of $1.5 million. Last year we raised a round that was $8.2 million. So definitely well funded at this point. We've got 23 employees. We're definitely in the life cycle of building now. We've got the money, we've got the developers, we've got our own engineers, and we're just cranking now. 18 of our staff are engineers, and so we have a very engineering-heavy company. But it allows us to be able to just crank on new features and as well as bolster old ones and just make sure that we be the services company and tools company that the developers that are relying on us, that we can be. The reality is that a lot of the features that our customers ask, we already know, right? Because a lot of what needs to be done in this space, we already have an idea of what needs to happen next, right? And when a developer comes to us and says, hey, we need this particular capability, we're already almost working on it under most circumstances. What's been really asked for recently has been additional data inside of our context product. So one of our products is the ability for us to take a coordinate and translate that into relevant information about that particular point. And so it may be understanding what neighborhood somebody's standing in, what city they're standing in, or what the weather is, or any of this kind of stuff. And then now we're able to integrate stuff like demographics, like understanding, what's the population look like in this area, what's the affluent percentage of this population, things like that. Now they're just looking for more and more and more raw data, so that whenever they want to build an app and they say need to know, if a user walks within a neighborhood that has a population of this or more, show them this, right? And be able to have that capability given to them.